I'm here with Patrick Dewar. He's the Vice President of International Marketing for Lockheed Martin, and interesting man to talk to right now. And I'll tell you why. That's, you're in the middle of a crossfire of this whole issue involving the U.S. and China over the arms deal with Taiwan. Now, your company is involved in this deal involving Patriot missiles. Now, can you tell me sort of what's the buzz, what's the discussion that's going on here at this conference?
Interesting question. I think it's important to say that Lockheed Martin has been doing business with the Taiwanese government for many, many years. They actually currently have F-16s, which we designed and developed. They have a Patriot, as you mentioned, and a PAC-3 upgrade that we're going to be doing with them. And I think that it's important to note that Lockheed Martin follows the United States government's policy, so that's not going to change. So we really don't get involved in a China-United States conflict of any kind. We're actually out here pretty much just doing business with the customers that look for our global security programs and products, and we do that in conjunction with the United States government. So that's kind of how I would comment on the situation.
Well, but if the Chinese government said to you, and it's kind of what they're saying, we're not going to do business with you anymore if you do this deal with Taiwan, that would not be good for Lockheed Martin.
Well, actually, we do very little business with the Chinese government, and I think that what we do is we bolster our support for the governments that we've partnered with over the years. So I think the best answer that I could give you on that situation is that China and the United States will work out kind of the governmental issues, and as the United States basically supports the Taiwanese government with defensive systems and with defense and military developments, Lockheed Martin will follow our governmental policy and will support our customers.
Is the Chinese market not one that you want to have greater involvement in, have greater sales in?
I think the Chinese market provides some opportunity for, say, some of the energy pursuits and some of the information technology, kind of civil type things that Lockheed Martin does. We're a global security concern, but what that means is it's much broader than defense. We actually provide the air traffic management systems for many governments around the globe, specifically for the United States government. We provide information technology services for kind of citizen government services, and I think some of our developmental technologies for energy, renewable energy, energy control and energy management are things that the Chinese government could be interested in. And I think in the past they've actually have been interested in it, but we're not going to, I'll say, walk away from some of our other key customers, and like I said, in support of U.S. government policy for some future potential new market.
Do you feel like you're having to be making a choice here?
No, actually, I don't think so at all. I think, and again, PAC-3 sale to Taiwan is something we've been looking for some time, and we've been working with that customer and the United States government very closely. So,
let me ask you about another country in the region, India. Now, I spoke with your counterpart with Boeing yesterday, and he sounded pretty confident they're going to get the fighter jet deal. We're talking over 200 fighter jets that India is looking to purchase. What do you think? Do you think that he thinks they're going to get it? What do you think?
I think the F-16 is the world-class fourth-generation fighter on the market today. I think it's a multi-role. It was designed exactly for this mission. I think the Indian government is doing a great competition. It's been a fairly intense competition. We're in what is currently phase 3, which is flight tests and technical demonstrations and technical validation. I'm going to leave it to the Indian government to make that decision because we trust in the transparency of their program and their process. But I think that the F-16 is with 4,500 airplanes on order, 4,400 delivered, 30-plus years, over 20 governments and many governments here in the region that fly F-16. I think that the track record is pretty straightforward how good that fighter is.
Now, earlier this week, the Joint Strike Fighter, which you're building, you guys got docked over $600 million by the U.S. government because of problems with the development of this aircraft. How is that affecting your discussions here at the air show in Singapore?
I think you didn't quite term it as accurately as I would say. I think the federal government in the United States, Secretary Gates came out very publicly and said it's the most important program. It is the preeminent example of global cooperation. And I think F-35 in particular is going to be the #1 program for the Department of Defense going forward. I believe that the budget came out and bolstered it. It actually increased funds for that. What they have done is they have tried to make sure that the risks that they perceive for the development program are going to be addressed accurately so so that we can get the thing into production as quickly as possible and as confidently as possible. So I'd say that the specifics on the decisions for the fee, moving from fee to development risk pool of money, those are actually pretty prudent and pretty conservative, and I think that's the message I would take from that. As far as the other governments that are interested in the F-35, as you know, Singapore here has been one of the first FMS customers, and they're extremely interested in it. Australia, as we were here, we spoke with the Air Chief yesterday. They are one of the key partners in the 8 partnership deal with the United States. They're firmly behind it. As you know, last year they signed up in their defense paper for 14 aircraft, and I think the program actually is progressing as good or better than any other developmental program at this stage of the game. And I think over the year you're going to find, you know, that this program moves very rapidly into a flight test, and you'll hear very good things coming.
Now, over my shoulder, Lockheed Martin has a pavilion, a large pavilion like other major aerospace companies have. Tell me, what goes on inside there? You know, you can see through the windows that there look like there's big banquets going on and big discussions going on. Any big deals being made in there?
You know, it's all business, no banquets. We've got a great display. We do have the F-35 cockpit, so when we have customers that want to see how it will act and how it will perform and the sort of sensors that are embedded in what make it a truly 5th-generation fighter, we're able to display that to them.
But what would make this event a win for you, for Lockheed Martin?
You know, we don't term it that way because of the business that we're in. It's all about partnerships with governments, with the militaries, and with industry partners. What you see in that pavilion over there is there are meetings going on because everyone is here, whether it's the 8 partner countries or F-35 or the regional countries that we do business with for PAC-3 or the Sniper Pod or the F-16. Those are the meetings that are going on in that building.
All right, Patrick Dewar, thank you so much for your insights and for telling us what's going on in there. That's Patrick Dewar from Lockheed Martin.